What's going on, guys? This is Kai. Welcome back. So today I'm going to present my voiceless voice deck profile, budget voiceless voice deck profile only, because I don't have the luxury to play the diviner package, because the diviner package is very expensive right now on the OCG, and also I don't have the luxury as well to buy Garura on the extra deck, so I'm not running the Dogmatica package as well. So this is just a pure raw version of Voiceless Voice, and I think I did pretty well on that tournament because I went 5-0 on that locals. It's nothing too big, it's just a small locals, but I just want to share my budget Voiceless Voice deck profile for you guys to have a reference if you want to build the deck, because the core is pretty much budget as well right now. You can pick up the core on a very low monetary value, so you could use this video for your reference to pick up the deck and build it on a budget note as well. So yeah, without further much ado, let's start. Coming at first, we have 2 Skull Guardian. Before I was running 3 copies on my testing on Edo Pro and other Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator apps. But I think even though 3 is fine on the deck, I think it's really okay to draw the Skull Guardian. There are times that you draw the 2 copies of Skull Guardian, and that's really bad. I wouldn't want to see that hand card ever again. So yeah, I cutted the Skull Guardian to 2. But some lists on OCG runs 3 copies of Skull Guardian. But yeah, I do think that 2 is the correct number of this Skull Guardian on the deck. Next, we have sa Orabis. Before, I was trimming my deck on a really budget, serious manner. And I ran this card on 1 copy only. But I do find it very shellacking on some occasions. And you really look for the second copy of Saurabis, especially on a prolonged game state. Next, we have the best card on the deck, of course, Novox. In Novox, we trust. So yeah, I think 3 Novox should be mandatory on this deck as well. And moving on, we have Saphira. You wouldn't want to run less copies of Saphira as well. This is a really insane card for the deck. Instant ritual, and this is very strong. Next, we have 1 Old Sage. I forgot the name of this card. Only 1 because you don't need to draw this card often. And it is here just to empower your board on a lot of occasions. So, only 1. Next, we move to the hand traps. We have Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. 3 copies. Some play 2. I have seen lists that are running 2 copies of Ash Blossom because this deck doesn't really lose bad against Maxi. At most, you just give your opponent 2 summons, so they only draw 2 cards on this Voiceless Voice. But yeah, I think Ash Blossom is really powerful against Fire King, especially ashing the field spell of Fire King. It's really a very good option right now. So I ran 3 copies of Ash. Next, we have the best card on the OCG, of course, Maxi. You wouldn't want to run less 3 copies of Maxi on the OCG because yeah, Maxi dictates the format. Next, we have 3 copies of Nibiru. Before, I was running 2 Nibiru, but I do find that the going second of Voiceless Voice is really subpar. It's really weak, to be honest. You don't really have a lot of tools to break boards on this deck. So the format is really fast-paced oriented format. So there's a lot of decks like Snake Eyes and Fire Kings and other fast decks on the format that summons more than 5 times on a single turn. So I figured that I would want to run 3 copies of Nibiru. And the next, we have Veiler. So I opted to run Veiler over Imperm on this list because when you go first and you use Maxi on your opponent, you cannot use the Imperms that you have drawn on the process. So unlike Veiler, you can always use this as your hand trap on your hand. So I think it's more flexible on this list right now. Next, we have the Barrier at 3. So yeah, I think it's the perfect number for this ratio. And the next, we have 2. I think 2 ritual spell. I think 2 is the correct number as well on this list. And pre-prep 3 copies. Before, I was playing 2, but I do suffer from consistency issues. So I tried to max out this card at 3. Next, we have 3 Extravagance. So yeah, it's just a budget version. You don't have Diviner, you don't have Nadir. So you want to really cope on consistency cards to make your deck more consistent, because you would really lose bad to breaking this deck is quite inherently bricky if you don't run the Nadir and the what do you call this, the Diviner package. So you want to run consistency cards. Even before, I was playing 1 for 1 just to summon the Novox, but yeah, I think there are more better cards than the 1 for 1 on this list. Next we have Pot of Prosperity, as well, consistency card as well on this list. On the trap cards, we have 3 summon limit. This is really debatable for me. I'm really skeptical on playing summon limit, but I figured out the going first is really solid. You can set up negation and negate summon and pop cards, and your board is untargetable as well most of the time. But when you mess up your interruptions and you really use your interruptions wrong on your opponent, it's really bad, to be honest. You can just get blown away by your faster decks like Fire Kings and other meta decks on the format can really out-tempo you and destroy your setup. So I use the summon limit as a precaution, where if they have baited and consumed my interruptions and negations on my setup, at the worst case scenario, I still have the summon limit to stop them from snowballing out of control. So I run 3 copies of summon limit on the main deck. But sometimes it's really bad when you lose the die roll and draw this summon limit. So it's really up to you if you wanna risk drawing this card and empower your going first setup on this list. And next we have 2 copies of Authority. Before I was playing 1, but this is a pure version, and I think I have a space on my deck. 1 space on my deck, so I ran 2 copies of Authority, also to empower my going first capability on this deck. And Authority is really insane. Even if you draw this card, I think it's really good when you're going first. So yeah, 2 copies of Authority. So 40 card main deck, you wouldn't risk playing 42, 43 because yeah, you are already suffering from consistency issues if you are playing it pure. And we move towards the extra deck. We have 2 Mondo. I think I should have played 3 copies of this because it always gets banished from extravagance. So yeah, I would bump this 3 into 3 soon. And next we have SP Little Knight. I would want to run more copies of Little Knight, but it's really expensive as well on the OCG, so I only run 1. Next we have Linkuribu, standard Link 1. Next we have Relinquish Anima, very strong card on this list. You have a lot of level 1s, Whaler and the Novox, so Anima is really good here. Next we have Nightmare Unicorn, generic as well. Then Nightmare Phoenix. I think this would really come up where you are trying to out the floodgates of your opponent, like summon limit and rather anti-spell fragrance and other floodgating effects on their trap disposal. So this could be really handy. Next we have, I don't even know the name of this card, but yeah, this is just used to OTK your opponents and deal damage on your battle. So I think it would be handy on your battle scenarios. I forgot the name, Sebek Sorcerer, yeah. I think it's the name of this card, Sebek something. Next we have Geonator Transverser. So yeah, another niche card on this extra deck because I have a lot of room for the generic cards on this extra deck. Next we have Celine. You have Whalers and you can pretty much climb up into access code when you want to OTK your opponent. Next we have BLS Link. Very insane card on this extra deck. It really empowers your OTK potential on this deck. And also this deck really doesn't come out with huge numbers on the board. You just summon 1, 2, 3 times in a single turn and that's just it. So this is just here to deal damage as well and break boards. Next we have Lyrilisk Nightingale. I'm not running Zeus because this budget list only. So it is just here to OTK. And sometimes you can sit on this card if you're really lagging behind and you're really in a bad shape. So yeah. Next we have Red Eyes, rank 7. So there's a lot of level 7s on the deck. So you can just summon this card on dying moments of the game or last 3 turns. So you can just burn your opponent using this card. So yeah, it can really come out, but it's really niche and seldom. We move towards, we still have 1 card. This is just for dumping. where if my opponent is playing the Dogmatica na Maximus, if they're playing Branded and they just dump cards from the Maximus, I just dump this card as well. So yeah, I could really summon it off, I think, with one Novox and Ash Blossom sometimes. Next, we have, on the side deck, we have 2 Droll and Lockbird. So yeah, there's a lot of decks that adds 4 card advantages on this format. So I figured I would want to run Droll on my side deck. Before, I was playing this on the main deck and Summon Limit was on my side deck. So I thought of mix and matching my side deck and main deck to experiment my deck list. So now Droll and Lockbird found his inclusion on my side deck. And also Lansea birds are very annoying right now on the OCG. So yeah, Droll and Lansea can be really good against Loandris. So yeah, I played Lansea and also Rescues are still gaining representations. So Lansea could be really good against that. Next we have Lightning Storm, general board wipe card on this list. And next we have HFD, of course, back row removal, and 1 Heavy Storm as well. Second copy of your HFD, but it could really hurt you if you have set up on your back row. But yeah, I think it's worth playing Heavy Storm right now. Next, we have 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, the best card on my side deck. It's really insane against Fire Kings, and this is really very efficient on your side deck because you can struggle on certain occasions against Anti-Spell and other Floodgates. So Cosmic Cyclone is a good card to out those problematic Floodgates. Next, we have Anti-Spell Fragrance. So this is your best going first card on this list, aside from Summon Limit, of course, because Anti-Spell really helps you deal against spell cards on the format, which are very prevalent right now. So I think running Anti-Spell on 3 copies is quite mandatory right now on the side deck of many OCG lists right now, and also to answer the Fire King as well. Next, we have the last copies of my hand traps. We have triple Infinite Impermanence. So I figured that running Veiler is much more important on the main deck. So I just sided the copies of Imperm on my side deck. So yeah, that sums up our Voiceless Voice budget, Voiceless Voice deck profile. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you do learn something from this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm nearing 1K subscribers so that I can get monetized and gain something from YouTube as well. And please like this video as well. So yes, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.